Sweet's Journey, Chapter 9. The air in the camp crackled with tension, lifting the roots of Sweet's fur. The dogs were drawing back into a wide circle, their eyes wide and their ears pricked in nervous expectation. There were small whines of anxiety and a few excited growls of anticipation, quickly stifled. Sweet kept her eyes on Beta, who stood rigid, as if in shock. The red dog's jaws were slightly parted, but as Sweet watched, she recovered, and her lips stretched in a sneer over her sharp fangs. At Sweet's side, Moon murmured, "Is this what you wanted all along, Sweet? To challenge Beta and become Alpha's second in command?" Sweet cocked one ear at her friend. "Of course not. This has nothing to do with this." She frowned. "I'm tired of putting up with her, that's all. Taunting me, playing tricks. The Windogs wouldn't put up with it from the hair. If I tolerated it from Beta, I'd be letting down Alpha Windog herself." A fierce thrill of determination went down Sweet's spine as she said it. "Windog," she thought, "be with me. Give me the speed I need." "Hear me, those are my pack," barked Alpha. "Sweet the Swift Dog challenges Beta." He glanced around them all, then stepped back and nodded to the two challengers. "Be careful, Sweet," Moon whispered, licking her ear. "Beta is a good and clever fighter, and she's ruthless." "I know she is," Sweet nodded calmly, "but I can either stand up to her or I can run, and I won't be the dog who runs. Not anymore. I've tried that, and I always regret it. Now I'm going to be the dog who stands." "You'll stand," snarled Beta, "till I grind you into the dust." She flung herself at Sweet, fangs snapping, claws lashing. Sweet whirled, ducked, and flew beneath Beta's charging body. If Beta had hoped to catch her off guard with a single violent charge, thought Sweet, she was wrong. She twisted, raking her claws at Beta's underbelly as the red dog tumbled and rolled off balance. Sweet missed, but Beta had not laid a claw on her either. Furious, Beta swung back to her paws and charged again. This time Sweet's haunches were bunched beneath her and she propelled herself upward, so the Beta skidded into the dust, missing again. Beta was fast too, and one of her flailing paws caught Sweet's flank, drawing blood. Sweet scrabbled to a stop, turning quickly to face her enemy. She could feel blood beading on her flank, and the warm trickle as it began to flow. She clenched her jaws. "You're pathetic, bony dog," snarled Beta. Sweet resisted the temptation to return insult for insult. She was faster than Beta, but she was going to need all her breath and all her wits to stay out of reach of those savage claws. She dodged sideways again as Beta lunged, feeling sharp teeth graze her leg, but she had escaped once more without a deep wound. As Beta stumbled, Sweet snapped her long muzzle at the red dog's hind leg. The jaws closed satisfyingly on flesh and bone, and Beta yelped. Sweet released her and sprang back out of reach. Both dogs stood rigid, eyeing each other, panting hard. Around them there was silence from the rest of the pack. Sweet didn't hear so much as a whine or a quiet yelp. Beta began to circle again, and Sweet turned slowly, watching her. This time Beta's attack was still powerful, but she took more care. Sweet darted forward to meet her, teeth bared. Beta dodged a bite and swiped her claws at Sweet's eyes, one claw nicking her cheekbone. Sweet gave a yelp of anger. "She's fighting like Kelly used to, aiming for my eyes. She doesn't care if she blinds me. She'd rather kill me than see me part of this pack." The realization sent new strength and determination flowing into Sweet's blood. "This is one fight I won't lose." Beta's moves were sly now, more considered, but Sweet could see the red light of fury in her blazing eyes. "She's not in complete control of herself. If I can tempt her in closer..." Sweet bounded forward, head twisting as if to bite. Beta lunged for her eyes again, but this time Sweet ducked and rolled. Beta's forepaw slammed into the dust beside her head. Sweet took her chance. She snapped for the red dog's foreleg, seizing it between her jaws and crunching down hard. Through the pounding of blood in her ears, she heard Beta's screaming howl of pain. "I can't give her a single chance." Sweet twisted up onto her forepaws. Beta's legs, still clamped in her teeth, yanked hard, her teeth tore into the flesh. Against the soft inside of her mouth, she felt something strain and snap in her enemy's leg muscles. Beta's howl turned into a shrieking yelp. Her big body collapsed sideways, thumping into the dust. Sweet flung herself on top of the red dog, releasing her leg and grabbing a tight hold on her neck. "Yield," she snarled through a mouthful of fur and flesh. "Yield." Beta was squirming and wriggling and whining with fury beneath her, but Sweet had her pinned. At last, flanks heaving, the red dog went limp, her teeth bared in a snarl. I yield." Sweet left her teeth in Beta's scruff a moment longer, to make certain, then abruptly released her. She scrambled off the red dog's sprawled body, letting her stagger to her paws and stand there, panting with defeated fury. Sweet lifted her head high. You made me out to be a thief, Beta. You called me a food stealer and a deserter in front of my pack. Her fangs clenched. You lied. Beta's tail was low and her head hung down, but her face still wore its hateful snarl. You lied, Beta, barked Sweet to her face. Say it. I lied, growled Beta, to rid our pack of a useless lightweight. Sweet's muscle curled, but she didn't respond. She didn't have to. All around, other dogs were muttering, growling, barking out the things they hadn't dared say before. Beta did lie. I never believed Sweet would steal, whined Twitch. Not after she carried that rabbit all the way here, barked Spring in agreement. Beta's sneaky that way, growled Snap. I always said you couldn't trust her. Burrow gave Snap a sidelong frown of disapproval, but he said, You can trust Sweet. Yes, said Moon, coming forward to lick the Swift dog's ear. Sweet has always been a good dog. She's an asset to this pack. Sweet glanced at Beta. She almost felt sorry for her, but she couldn't afford to give in to pity. Beta had pushed and pushed till Sweet had no choice, and Sweet knew she couldn't show weakness now. That was the world after the big growl. It was about survival, and she would survive. She knew now that she had the strength. Beta curled her muzzle as she regained her breath and her dignity. Enjoy your victory, Sweet. She didn't call her Sweetie now, though thought Sweet with satisfaction. But you just wait. I'll challenge you again, Swift Dog. I'll challenge you on a day when I'm not tired from hunting. And I'll take back my rightful place in this pack. No, came a silky voice. No, you won't. Alpha paced forward as dogs gave way before him, drawing back, every eye riveted on him. He stalked right up to Beta, till his nose was almost touching hers. Silence fell among other pack members. You lost this challenge, Beta, he growled. Not that Beta is your name anymore. You lost more than a fight, and you know it. You've been exposed as a liar and a traitor, and this pack has no room for dishonourable dogs. Leave now. Beta looked stunned. Her jaws parted. At last she stammered. But Alpha, leave, he snarled. Leave now, packless dog, while you still can. There was no mistaking the threat in his voice. Beta could only stare at him, her face stricken. She took a pace backward, glancing to the left and right, and her gaze fell on Sweet. The hatred there was piercing, but at least it was fleeting. Heartbroken whine, Beta turned and limped away into the forest. Sweet shook off the tremor that rippled through her skin. I can't help thinking I haven't seen the last of her. Now, though, life with the pack promised to be a lot more peaceful, she thought with relief. The pack was dispersing, the dogs were murmuring and gossiping about the unexpected turn of events. Only Alpha still stood there, watching her with his head slightly cocked. Well, Sweet, he growled, are you ready for this? You're Beta of this pack now. Sweet raised her head, slightly shocked. Alpha, that's not why I fought her. I know that's the rule, but I never really wanted. I only wanted to challenge her lies, stop her bullying me. Powerful hunched his shoulders, looking amused. Whether you meant it or not, Sweet, we can't break pack rules. You defeated our Beta in a lawful challenge. Sweet stared at him, her jaws slightly parted. It made sense, and Moon had warned her, but it hadn't really crossed her mind when she had issued her challenge to the Red Dog. Maybe, she thought, I didn't quite think this through. The light in Alpha's eyes was somewhere between mirth and menace. You'd better get used to it, Swift Dog. You're now Beta of this pack.